we looking at today, guys? Well, I was lucky enough to have a customer send me a large box of knives, and in it was a couple of these Extremaratio Daggers. We're gonna take a look at them, but first, you guys should turn down the volume because, well, here comes a little bit of music. Guys, I've actually had a lot of stuff come in for sharpening. This was some of the cooler stuff. I have some other stuff that I'm going to show you guys later in a video. One of them is probably going to be part of the sharpening tutorials for the premium tier guys. But let's not talk about it too much. First, I wanted to make sure that you guys knew that the logo behind me is DJ Slopes Game Room. It's a British guy, and he does all kinds of like game history and stuff like that. So at any rate, I've had 2 large boxes of stuff that have come in for sharpening, and in the one box there was, I mean, most of it was kind of mundane, run-of-the-mill stuff. There was an SE and some ZTs, some Kershaws, but there were 2 of these Extremaratio Daggers. Now, the Extremaratio has never been a brand that I really gravitated to. Some of their stuff's just kind of over the top, which these definitely are. But I just liked the way these looked, the way they felt. I really like this one. There's another one. We're going to take a look at both of them. I'm not going to do any cut test or anything with them. I literally just finished sharpening them last night for the customers so I can get them out to him. I mean, are they cool? Yeah. Are they real functional? If you're looking for a slicey cutter, probably not. But let's turn this around and take a good close look at them from above. Guys, this is not going to be a full review because there's not a lot of information. I do have some prices. Unfortunately, some of these items are kind of hard to find. So these are a couple of Extremaratio daggers, fixed blade daggers that came in from a customer for sharpening. I did sharpen them. Now, I'm going to tell you that these are not the kind of knives that you purchase if you're going to do like some cutting and you have tasks that you want to use this knife for. These knives are super thick. This one, not as bad, but with it being such a narrow blade, it's never going to be real slicey. And they do have a couple grind issues. We'll address that here in a minute. And it's real hard to get all the way back here. So this is one of those things I wish knife makers would stop doing. This, first of all, that doesn't need to be like that. That's really sharp, really aggressive, unpleasant, if you would. But these are really attractive. So let's go ahead. This is the Contact C. And this is the, now I'm going to screw this up. This is the Misericordia. I could not find this anywhere in the United States available. So all the information, all the prices and stuff I got. Now, the only information I have for you is the steel. These are done in Bowler N690. Which is a very good steel. Unfortunately, this just does not feel sharp, and it has nothing to do with the fact it's not sharp. I did sharpen it. It's so thick, so bulky that, I mean, you can see behind the edge thickness is like, that's just skin from where I was touching it. It is sharp. It's razor sharp to about 1,000 grit. Let's go ahead and get the calipers out and take a quick look at the blade stock thickness and behind the edge thickness on these. Let's go ahead and look at the blade stock thickness on this first. Oh, well, we'll do it in millimeters first. I have people that complain that I don't do it in millimeters. You are looking at 6.25 millimeters. Probably, if you want the truth, closer to 6.4. Yeah, 6.4. Behind the edge thickness, well, let's do inches on that for you guys. This is basically 0.25. So if I don't put any pressure on it, just let it sit, it's 0.25. It's a quarter of an inch. Behind the edge thickness, oh my goodness, this is ridiculous. Behind the edge thickness is 0.063. So yeah, not something you can do a lot of slicing with. On the smaller one, blade stock thickness is 0.1475. More of a sane type of 0.15. That's not an insane blade stock thickness, but behind the edge on this one as well, 0.4, 0.45. What was it on this one? Behind the edge thickness on this one was let's get right behind the edge. 0.74. It's really hard to do this because like the edge bevel is so 0.6. See, it's just sliding up my edge bevel. Behind the edge thickness, 0.645. So these are not high performance cutters, guys, but the fact is they are really cool. And I know that I just ran that caliper up. Yep, you can see it. N690 does scratch pretty easy. Running that calipers up it, I just scratched my edge. I'm gonna have to resharpen this knife now, at least on the final stone. This one is the more comfortable of the two. You can see this knife is just kind of, it's just too skinny, and then that ring on it just doesn't do anything. But they are cool looking. They are, if you're in the market for something that's just cool factor, kind of cool. This one actually is fairly sharp. Like, it's dagger sharp, like you would want it. Only issue I saw while sharpening these, if you can look, if we can get it to focus, you can see here, let's zoom in and focus on that. Can you see how the blade is off center slightly? The grinds on it are not consistent. You can see one, you can just see it. It's not ground consistent, which is a common thing with daggers. So it gave it some weirdness at the very tip. As you can see, those, the way it was ground, they don't line up quite right. Nothing I can really rectify because it's actually ground into the knife that way. Other thing, these are aggressive. The jumps on that finger guard, which is a flipper tab. I mean, Red Wolf EDC called it out when I sent this to the group chat. Why does this have a flipper tab? Now, I do know that there's other knives that have finger guards that are reminiscent of a flipper tab, but this is just, that's totally a flipper tab. This one is fun though. I mean, would I own it? No. It doesn't serve any real purpose. I can't do anything with this knife, but they are a lot of fun. They are kind of tactical Hollywood if you want to come in on. This one also has a bit of a misalignment. You can see here how the edge, that's kind of dead center, and then this one's off. It makes it really hard to get a good tip on. And this thing is so thick, you're never going to get a good tip on this knife. It's always going to be a little off, a little round. So they're fun. They're pretty cool. Now, I will give you some prices because just to have something cool, these are kind of out of my wheelhouse when it comes to price, just to have something cool that's not functional. This one is $275 US. I only found it at one place. It was Knife Country USA, and they have the all black version of this. So I imagine the price is the same. This one I could not find at any US retailers. I looked for a while. The Mr. Cordy, this is 184 euros. I will put up a price right here in dollars for you guys once I do the conversion. But yeah, this one's a lot cooler looking, but much more uncomfortable. This one is a lot more comfortable. Of the two, this is a little bit more functional. But like I said, this, as they call it, skull crusher, this is very sharp. This is awkward. It doesn't give you any real, like, to hold on to it that way. Like, look how that puts it in your hand. That's not how you're going to use that knife. Maybe like that, you know, but at any rate, they are kind of fun, kind of cool, get your attention, but really not that functional. So yeah, and they're pricey for something you're not going to be able to use. But I thought you guys would like to take a look at them. They are pretty cool. And by the way, in case you forgot, I destroyed the 2021 Pocky One Chip Challenge. And just so you guys know, all that goofy stuff that is in the intros and things like that, it actually lives on my workbench. So let's turn this around and do some final thoughts. So like I said, guys, these are really fun. This one in particular is a lot of fun. The one that you guys saw with the ring, not so much, it's not as comfortable in my hand, but I really like these. I told you the price point at the tabletop, so, you know, Extremaratio stuff is actually pretty well built. Both of these, those came with a little bit of misgrind from side to side. It was hard to account for the sharpening. And like I said, these down here kind of pain in the ass. But at any rate, guys, that's the end of the video. If you like the videos, give them a thumbs up. If you don't like them, give them a thumbs down. But please try to tell me why. If you want to support the channel, it's as easy as sharing the content like I do with channels back here, like I did with DJ Slopes. But if you want to support the channel financially, a lot of ways. So let's run through them real quick. I have the memberships down below, early access to videos, exclusive giveaways, exclusive content, and premium tier get access to a sharpening tutorial. I have affiliate links down below. Anything you click on through there and purchase, I get credit for. It doesn't cost you anything. And I have the merch store down below. And Ember Shirt Co. I have set up a coupon code for everyone that works on any of the stores on Ember Shirt Co. It's CrazySharp, all one word, capital C, capital S, CrazySharp, all one word. Saves you 10% at checkout. So, guys, I love you all. Keep it clean in the comments section. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. And I will see you guys in the next video.